What is up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I messed up that intro. Welcome back to my channel. I'm NathHughes. If you're new here, my name is Nathallie Hughes. I'm a psychic, life coach, thought leader, overall amazing woman, gorgeous, beautiful. I just look radiant today. I look radiant today. I did a little chemical peel moment. The girl looks good. I got some hormonal acne that's clearing up. She's gorgeous. Love her life. Did my eyebrows. They look great on camera. Wonderful in person as well. We won't get into it. Oh, what else do I do? Oh, yes. Okay. Psychic, life, coach, wonderful, amazing person, gorgeous girl. What do I do for you? I guide you back to your inner being, your inner knowing, your internal guidance system. And I hope that the music that I have playing in the background is more calming for you than it is really loud and annoying for me. I guide you back to your internal guidance system, help you to reprogram your subconscious mind, shift your mindset to one in alignment with the person you're choosing to become and the life you're choosing to create for yourself. If you're into manifestation, law of attraction, energy, alignment, spirituality, being a boss ass bitch, hit the subscription thing and the notification bell and stick around because we have a fucking blast. Okay, so today you can tell by the title that this is a week ahead, not a week ahead video, a month ahead video, and I'm searching so that I can do timestamps. I'm gonna do month ahead videos for the general public. I have a private community. I'll talk more about that at the end of this video, where there's a whole bunch more content. I'm still deciding, don't be an ad, don't be an ad. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm still deciding what content I'm going to be creating and putting out there on YouTube. So one thing's for sure, we're gonna do month ahead videos for the entire month, just so that the girls get something. You're welcome. Okay, that's it. We're gonna do a little Celtic Cross cute moment. And then we'll talk about all the other stuff when we're done. Okay, I have the week ahead video to film after this, but I figured I would do this one first because I'm gonna put my heart and soul into the week ahead one. And when I finish that one, I'm not gonna wanna do this one. So I figured I would do this one first. Okay. Celtic cross moment, Celtic cross moment. Still don't know how to pronounce it. For the month ahead, for the month of March, because it's already like March 6th. What do we have going on within the collective? Personal growth and development within the collective. We have the Six of Pentacles. The Devil kind of came out. Crossed by the World. Rooted in the Fool. What's going on in the past? The Empress. King of Swords as possibilities. I really want to cut that music down, but I can't get up because I don't have pants on. The near future, death. How you're seeing yourself, Ace of Cups, which is really good. Okay, the month. Your environment, Seven of Swords. Hopes and fears, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. Outcome 10. And then we also got the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, let's jump in. March. You're recognizing that you have something to give to the world. And for some of you, this is about recognizing that what it is that you want to do is a gift to the world. So if we want to have a conversation about like artistry, I know that I attract a lot of creative people. No, I cannot do this. Okay, that's better. These little things, I'm not gonna obsess over it. We're here, we're beautiful. Okay, I know that I attract a lot of creative people. Hold on. No, it's fine. Okay. Focus, we're here. A lot of people who want to do creative things, not saying you have to be a creative person, this is just an example. A lot of people who want to do creative things can feel an internal conflict because my parents want me to be a doctor, right? And there is this belief system, this common limiting belief that the only ways to be of service to the world is like by being a lawyer or being a doctor or being a nurse or having a degree, okay? They're saying the word like professionalism. So there is a certain belief that a lot of you in the collective have about your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions, and whether or not they are an appropriate use of your time or an appropriate use of your energy, right? So if you have parents, people who raise you, people around you that are like, the only way to give to the world is in this way that's very common, but you want to do something completely different. The shift that you're recognizing as we move through this month, what you're working on this month, is acknowledging, allowing it to come into your awareness that you following your own path and what you want to do is of service to the world. And as Amanda Francis would say, it's of highest service to the world. A really quick example would be, I was having a conversation with an old friend of mine the other week, and I was getting this person, I was doing emotional labor in the conversation, and the person that I was having a conversation with goes, "Have you ever considered being a therapist?" And I was like, no, I've never considered being a therapist. Not that there's anything wrong with therapy, not that there's anything wrong with therapists. However, I do the work that I do in the way that I want to do it in alignment with my inner being. And what they had said had really agitated me. And I realized the reason why it agitated me was I put the same situation in a different situation, the same energy in a different situation. It's like if you went to a pediatrician and you were having a conversation about a dog that you had just got, and your pediatrician was like, "Oh yeah, dog anatomy is so similar to this and this and this and this and this in this way," or whatever limited knowledge that they have about dog anatomy. And you're sitting in your pediatrician exam room and you ask your pediatrician, "Have you ever thought of becoming a veterinarian?" Veterinarian? That's how you say that. And what would your pediatrician say to you? Probably no, because I'm a literal fucking pediatrician, right? In that moment, I came into a greater awareness of this person's lack of respect for the work that I do, simply because it's not accompanied by degrees or what they're under the impression of is the best way to go about helping people and being of service to people emotionally. Okay? Okay. Having that awareness really gave me a greater awareness of myself. It was a really good opportunity for me to come into a greater amount of respect for this work that I do in my own way. We don't have conversations about all of the potential problems with therapy and different things like that. It works for some people. It's amazing for some people. I think it's a beautiful, powerful tool. I do the work that I do in the way that I do it because that's how I'm called to do it. It's not about one is unworthy of love and one is more worthy of love. It's about I respect myself and I respect my journey and I respect what I've been called to do. This is my zone of genius. Law of attraction, law of assumption, manifestation, stepping into a position of empowerment in your life, gaining alignment with your inner being, and emotional intelligence, psychological development, personal growth and development. All of these things are my zone of genius, respectfully. Okay? So my point in all of this is that this month for the collective, you are recognizing that it is absolutely possible for you to make a positive impact on the world in your own way. Going back to conversations about artists, if we're having a conversation about artistry, Beyonce's music has probably not necessarily done more for me, but provided more support for me than a medical doctor has. Not because Beyonce's music, not because I would play Beyonce if I was bleeding out, but because music is emotional support and togetherness and all of this other stuff and amazing things vibrationally that we don't even need to get into. Music is so important. I'm somebody who astrologically has Moon conjunct Neptune, which doesn't really, you don't have to have that. You don't have to know what that means. But basically, I really love music. Like I listen to music 24/7. So I value artistry because it's something that I want and it's something that I need to survive. If I did not have music, I would not want to be around me. I would not be a very happy person if I didn't have access to music. It's a must. It's a need. It's a bare minimum in my life. Whereas going to the doctor, I don't really go to the doctor that frequently. So again, it's not about doctors are not important, musicians are important. It's about recognizing that everybody can be important at different appropriate times, depending on who you are and depending on what it is that you are needing. The message for the collective right now is that you're coming into a greater awareness of the fact that there are people who need what it is that you want to offer. There are people who need and want what it is that you have to offer. This month is all about learning to value yourself, value what you have to offer the world. You're coming into a greater awareness of the importance of whatever it is that you put out there. A really good example of this is, you guys know that I love NCIS. Well, I don't know if you know this. I talk about it on Twitter pretty frequently, but I love this show and it's called NCIS. And basically there's one character on the show, spoiler alert, she leaves the show like 100 million seasons in, And she is this forensic scientist, and she is just this kick-ass girl, and she's super awesome and amazing. And I was reading an article about the show the other day, and one of the things that they mentioned in the article was that there are so many young women who got into science and math and different things like that because they were inspired by this character that they saw on television. And so I'm saying this to say, what if the person who cures coronavirus, like for real, was inspired by seeing Abby Shudo when they were 16 years old watching NCIS? That contribution to society is something that we would absolutely value. And then subsequently, we would value who and what inspired that contribution to society. Abby Shudo's character is important. Without an actress to really embody the writers and story creators, idea and concept of Abby Shudo, we wouldn't have that role. We wouldn't have that energy. So many people wouldn't have been inspired. All of these negative consequences, we never would have cured coronavirus. You know what I mean? So that's what you're recognizing, is that every single thing that you want to do, every single goal that you have, all of your inspirations are absolutely serving mankind, are serving the growth and expansion of the universe. It doesn't matter what that is. Another example that's coming to my mind, because we're just all examples today, I guess. Let's see that your goal and your desire in life is just to be a really, really amazing mom. Because, let's say, as a natural consequence of you and your dedication to being an amazing mom and doing whatever that means for you, consequence of that would be you have a kid who grows up and has a healthy self-concept and has secure attachment and has healthy relationships. And because of your kids' confidence and different things like that, they're able to go out in the world and do other things. We could also just value the emotional fulfillment and the happiness that you would create in a home, because that's something that's valuable and that's something that is absolutely needed. And that in and of itself is being of service to the world, because, I don't know if you guys have these experiences, but going and seeing other people and their happy families was something that strongly inspired me and all of the work that I'm doing in my personal life and in my career. Going to the schools that I went to, I've talked about this a couple of times. I had went on like an after school play date moment with this girl who lived in the neighborhood that I went to school in. And when we had gotten to her house from after school, her mom is like, "Do you guys want an after school snack?" We're like, "Yes." And her mom just brought out these fucking crackers and cheese and shit. And I was just like, oh my God, this is how rich people live. This is how people who have moms that care about them live. And we are not going to go into anything else about that, but that was a really big source of inspiration for me. And a lot of my thoughts about what it means to be a good mom, or what it means to be a good host, or what it means to be a good friend, what it means to take care of people, come from moments and situations like that where you saw things and you were inspired to want to have those experiences. And so this woman who, I don't know if she was a stay-at-home mom, I think that she was, this woman who was a stay-at-home mom, she was a huge source of inspiration for me. And it's not like I was over their house every other day. This was one play date once in my life. And I just so happened to really remember it. It had such a huge impact on me. So you don't know who you're going to be inspiring or helping by showing up and experiencing what it is that you want to experience. And that's another message that we want to share for this week and for this month. You're recognizing, they're saying the phrase, the haves and the have-nots. You're recognizing that allowing yourself to receive what you want is not a betrayal of your people. It's you stepping up and being a source of inspiration. If you're really struggling with allowing yourself to receive more than other people and feeling like that's a betrayal and feeling like that makes you a bad person, I have a workshop. It's called the Feel Better Than Others workshop. You can go get it. Links in the description. It's like a little digital product on my website. Super duper great and awesome. That'll help you shift out of that. But what I will say here is that it really is just a mindset shift thing where, okay, you gotta put it this way. How somebody else responds to the way that you live your life is not your responsibility. Because somebody who feels unworthy of love is gonna feel unworthy of love and is gonna look for things that are going to tell them the story that they're unworthy of love wherever they go. Because that's the story that they're telling themselves. They don't wake up and go, I feel unworthy of love and I want to make myself miserable. I mean, I don't think that anybody is doing that. That's not what's happening, but you're telling yourself the story that you're not good enough. And so when somebody else is telling a story about how much success they have, of course, the thoughts in your mind are, wow, they have so much more success than me. Because that's your focus, because that's your point of attraction. The difference between the person who sees somebody who has more than them and goes, oh my God, this is so inspiring. I want to drive a car like that. I want to live in a house like that. I want to allow myself to receive money like that. I want status like that. The difference between that person and the person who goes, oh, I can't believe they think they're better than me, or whatever. The difference between those two people is their mindset and the stories that they're telling themselves about who they are and what they're capable of and what they can do in the world and what is possible for them. And so when you're showing up in the world and you're not allowing yourself to shine, you're not allowing yourself to receive the happiness and the success that you want to receive because of how somebody else might respond, you're forcing yourself to suffer for something that you literally cannot control. Because there's no amount of holding yourself back that's going to give that person self-love. There's no amount of not allowing yourself to succeed that's going to put more money in that person's bank account. So get that workshop if you want more on this. But that's what you're working through this month with the energy of the Six of Pentacles. Because what's crossing you? The world. It's your perception of the world that needs to shift this month. It's your perception of the world and the people in it and perhaps how they're going to respond to you that is stopping you from sharing your gift. We have the world rooted in the Fool. There's some fear. You have this fear of, okay. They're singing that song from American Idol. You had to have seen this. I don't know if you've seen this. You can Google it. If you've never seen it, you can look up on YouTube or Google Pants on the Ground American Idol. You don't really have to see it. It's not really a prerequisite. But this man, he's just singing a song about how much he hates to see sagging. And the lyrics to the song, one part of the song is, you're looking like a fool with your pants on the ground. It's very funny. It's very, very funny. And I have really good memories connected to laughing at this song. So that makes me happy to think about. But I have to say, because of this, that of course you're afraid of looking foolish in general, but you're specifically afraid of looking foolish to the world. Because of your perception, what happened in the past, the Empress, this has to do with your mom. Just gonna be fucking honest. You are afraid. Okay, let me tell you what happened in your childhood experience. In your childhood experience, your mom didn't support you. Your mom didn't support you. Your mom didn't support you. For some of you, she like made fun of you, or was very critical of you. And perhaps her definition of support was criticism and nitpicking, which in and of itself isn't inherently bad, but when it's not balanced out with praise, can just make you feel like you're not good enough. Because you didn't receive that praise, and that was your childhood experience. So it could have been your mom, women in your life, everyone in your life, whoever's an authority in your life, criticizing you more than praising you. Your perception of the world has become one where I can't be myself. I can't show up and give what I have to give because people won't like it. People won't support it. For some of you, it's more like people will laugh at me. Insert whatever bad, terrible thing you might happen. You think might happen. So it's about recognizing that and working through that this week. I mean, this month. Damn. This is a good reading. Okay. That's a really good example. So do you see how I will do things? I just posted a video. I think I did it in that last one that I actually posted, the one right before this about my private community. I gave my intro because I've been thinking, okay, I really do need a cute intro. What do they call that? Elevator pitch moment, right? Like, who am I? What do I do? Quick and concise. I said it and I was like, that was really good. You did a good job. And I think I gave myself a thumbs up. I think it was in that video. It's in one of the videos. I did it like 3 times. So I think the one that I posted has that in it. But me doing that and in this reading going, this is a really good reading. Yes, I'm talking about the information that I'm giving, but I'm also talking about my delivery and I'm talking about my flow. And what's important about this is that I kind of give myself credit where credit's due. I celebrate myself and I communicate to myself when I think that things are really good and when I think that things are worthy of celebration, which I've decided is everything. Because I decided that I'm somebody who deserves to be celebrated and loved and cherished. And that's something that will very much serve you as you move through this month and the rest of your life, is to start practicing focusing on what you're doing good and what you're doing well and giving yourself those moments. You should be having more celebration for yourself, more happiness for yourself, especially for those of us who are going through personal growth and development. When you're healing, it can feel like one thing after the next. If you're a Capricorn or an earth sign, it can feel like one thing after the next because you're always focusing on how can I improve? You're always focusing on how can I get better? That if you're not intentional, and I'm talking about as a natural consequence of your childhood experience, if what I just said resonates with you, if you're not careful, you can get into that trap of, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. And when you're not feeling good enough, it's okay, I did this, and now I have to do the next thing. And what's the next thing? And what's the next thing? And it's just kind of a potential for a downward spiral moment. So you have to take those times after the shifts, after the realizations, to go, this is really good. You're doing a really good job. I have been posting quality shit since 2018 when I first started posting videos on YouTube and really putting content out there. I didn't watch my videos. I didn't want to edit my videos for a really long time because I didn't want to watch my videos. I didn't listen to audios and things like that. I recorded it, I uploaded it, and then I just kind of was like, I just don't want to listen to it. Not even so much of like, I don't like my voice, but I just didn't have a good positive relationship with myself. And if I'm watching something back of myself and I'm like, I don't like the way that I look, then I would delete it and it would just be gone forever. So when my adaptive strategy was to just not watch my stuff, it was fine. My stuff was getting out there. You hear those birds outside? But my stuff was not getting out there to the whole entire world and being boosted up, because when I was talking about my stuff, I'm like, yeah, my stuff is good. Yeah, my stuff is cool. But when I go back and when I listen back to stuff, like, you guys, some of the shit in my private community, if you become a part of the Complete SAS, or SAS Complete is what it says on the website, you get access to that fucking bonus goddamn content. There is specifically, okay, no, there are several things. One, the self-forgiveness and God is on my side meditation. Chef's kiss, bitch. That is such a good one, especially for those of you who grew up more Christian, shame, fear, guilt, also transitioning into more spirituality and all of the everything with that. And does God agree with the choices that I'm making? Or, you know, am I an authority figure in my life? All of that shit, that meditation, that's the one. And then there's an audio where I'm talking about money. There's another audio where I'm talking about money. I haven't uploaded that one yet, but it will be. I think I have to like do edits with it and stuff. So that's, you know, it's going to go up there. But there's one that's already up there and I'm talking about money. And I listen back to that shit and I'm listening to it and I'm like getting fucking like new downloads and realizations, listening to it a second time. That shit's just fucking good. I can show up and I can advertise my work and I can go, my work is fucking good. And there is a different energy that I have. It's like, I'm behind what it is that I'm doing. And that's a really big shift for you guys this month, is getting behind what it is that you're doing. Instead of, and let me finish the entire thought on this before you internalize it. Instead of focusing on who outside of me is supporting me, which we're going to talk more about this in an Ask Nath video that's coming soon. By the way, if you want an Ask Nath episode, fill out the form using the link in the description. Instead of focusing on who in the world is supporting you or who isn't supporting you, most specifically probably your mom, focus on how can I be supporting myself and how can I be hyping myself up. When you do this, it's not because everything that you need is inside of you and you don't need anybody else in the world. That's not what this is. When you hype yourself up and when you love yourself, this is similar to like love relationships. When you treat yourself right, when you treat yourself good, people come into your life treating you bad, it doesn't feel right. Really good example of this, and I do have to share this. I feel compelled to share this. We have conversations about young girls, young women, women in general, people in general, and their love and romantic life. When young women grow up in an environment where they are loved and their emotional needs are taken care of and they're cherished and they have developed a healthy self-concept as a natural consequence of their upbringing, if that young girl were to get in a relationship with somebody who, or were to like date or connect with somebody who I'm choosing my words carefully. If that person were to get into a relationship with somebody who was perpetuating patterns of abuse and toxicity in their relationships, good. If that were to happen, then that young woman wouldn't continue to date that person because how they were treating them would feel off. Even if that person, even if that woman didn't know what it means to be a narcissist, even if that young woman didn't know what it means to be manipulated, even if you don't have those catchphrases, even if your parents aren't sitting you down going, these are all of the red flags in relationships, just based off of her experience in her home and how she was treated, and subsequently how she treated herself, that person's behavior would seem peculiar, unfamiliar, weird. And those people wouldn't date. Why did I say this? I kind of forgot why I said that. Why did I say that? Why did I share that example? Because I felt very strongly. Conversation about how you treat yourself. Yes, your art. Perfect. So in that example, if we were to bring in law of assumption, law of attraction, different things like that, when we have conversations about what are your expectations, I have to wrap this up. When we have conversations about what are your expectations in the world, this young woman is not going to settle and be in relationships with people who don't treat her well, even if she can't articulate why she's really not going to date someone or whatever. It just doesn't feel right. I don't think we're compatible. We're not going to see each other again. This young person, young woman, is naturally going to have the expectation of being treated well. She's going to be a vibrational match to a healthier relationship pattern. Okay? This same concept applies when it comes to your art and the work that you do and the work that you put out there. If you are sitting going, this is the most beautiful art I've ever seen in my life. If you are sharing your messages and you're going, that was really good and that was a beautiful flow, and I love how you completely forgot why you brought up that example, but your mind is so absolutely brilliant and amazing that you of course thought about it, and you just have such a wonderful relationship with your inner being that you can talk about whatever you want to talk about and go on a million tangents, and your inner being is always going to guide you back to your original point. Like, what a beautiful mind and spirituality that you have. You're such an amazing person. If you show up and you have that relationship with yourself, it just makes sense for the world to treat you that way as well. If somebody were to come onto my page and were to comment on my video and go, oh my God, she goes on so many tangents, I'd be like, bitch. First of all, my mind is amazing because of the relationship that I have with myself, because of the way that I show up for myself, because of the way that I genuinely believe that I'm very good at what I do, and I genuinely have an admiration for my mind and the way that it works and the way that I speak and the way that I show up in the world. That means it's much easier for me. We're talking about ease. We're not talking about possibility. You don't have to do this. I'm telling you, this is an easier, better feeling way to get what it is that you're wanting, to get the support from the rest of the world. It's easier for me to show up and to love myself and to love the work that I do. And then I get to go out into the world and I get to say, and you value this and you want to buy this, right? Absolutely you do. Absolutely you do. And the people of the world are going, and absolutely I do. And this is good stuff. And she's very good at what she does. And I love the way that she thinks. And I really like the way that she talks. And I love her tangents. And I could listen to this forever. Of course you could. Because I could listen to me forever, and I do. And I do. So it's that same concept. We have conversations about you want people to, for those of you who are like selling products or services or whatever, you're finding it hard to get people to buy from you. This is what they're talking about when they say that you have to value what it is that you do, or it's better for you to value and believe that what you're doing and what you're offering is worthy of money. When you show up and you look at your art and you are going, this is the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen in my life. This is the most amazing photography I have ever seen in my life. I cry every single time I look at this photograph that I took of the Grand Canyon. This is the most beautiful depiction of the galaxy, of the universe that I have ever seen. This picture makes me feel close to God. This is so special to me. This is so important. This is so wonderful. This is so valuable. This is so good. It is in that energy that you attract the person that comes into your life and is like, oh, I'm absolutely going to pay $1 million for this piece of art. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I wouldn't pay any less because this is amazing, because I value it. So you're wanting more support from the world, which is amazing, and you're worthy of it. Giving yourself more support, showing yourself more love, and getting over this, I don't want to say getting over, working through this fear of looking foolish will serve you very well this month. Just decide who gives a shit. Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? My little thingy things aren't really well hidden. Maybe me years ago would have never started recording, have this not been okay. I would have been focusing on, oh my God, look, you have a little bit of acne situation going on. I could look for potential flaws. I'm not going to. Because it doesn't make me feel good, and I love myself, and I think I look good enough. I think I look very good. I think I look gorgeous. I think I look like a radiant goddess. So, God. Yeah, I do. Do you ever compliment yourself and get a little bit nervous? I'm shy. Oh, she's hilarious. So funny. Okay, anyway, what was I talking about? Yes. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Oh my God, there could be somebody out there in the world that's like, look at her headscarf. It's not perfect. Okay. And that wouldn't do shit for them, and it wouldn't do anything to me. Because I love myself and I'm worthy of love no matter what my headscarf looks like. Okay, moving forward. Moving through that, we are learning to decipher whose opinions we take with weight. I could say that in a different way, but that's good enough, right? You get to decide, Mom, I love you. Your opinion on this is not going to be the most valuable thing to me. My mom is not going to fully take the work that I do seriously until I have millions of dollars in the bank. And that's just because of her values and what she believes and different things like that. What she needs and what she wants as a mom to have kids who have certain tangible things that can represent success. That's her. So instead of allowing that to impact me and the work that I'm doing here, that I know is valuable, that I know is powerful, that I know is amazing, her opinion is not going to weigh that much to me, because I understand what makes her happy and all of these other things. It's okay to want an ad. It's okay to want your parents' approval. It's okay to want people to love you. We all need that. We all want that. It's a human support thing. But you get to recognize that you get to choose. You get to decide. I decided that me personally, I would rather have the approval of God than anybody else. I would rather have the approval of the universe than anybody else. I would rather have the approval of my inner being than anybody else. I would rather have the approval of me than anybody else. If I would rather have the approval of them than myself, then I would be in college and I would be going to medical school or some other shit, and I would not be happy, and I would not be living my truth. And I value being happy, and I value being emotionally fulfilled, and I value living my truth. One thing about me, I'm gonna live my truth. So when it comes to validation, I'm gonna ask the universe. I'm gonna ask for a synchronicity. I'm gonna ask for a sign. And then other people and different things like that, right? You get to choose. That's the point. All right, with the King of Swords, I'm wrapping it up. Didn't I say that like 10 minutes ago? With the energy of the King of Swords, possibilities is, yeah, I talked about that. Literally the last thing that I just said. Decide whose opinion gets to matter and make your opinion be the one that carries the most weight. Period. Possibilities, what's happening in the near future, death, transformation. How you're seeing yourself, Ace of Cups. You're recognizing that the universe is offering me the start of something new. The universe is offering me a new potential. This is a gift from God. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do, that you're wanting to start, that you're wanting to become, that you're wanting to embody, whatever. It's from God. It's inspiration. You're perceiving yourself as being divinely inspired and guided. Yes. Yes, you are. Environment, Seven of Swords. Number one, sevens are all about receiving messages. So when I see the Seven of Swords, sometimes I think receiving messages from God, what's happening in your environment. Perhaps you're being more sensitive. You're hearing more messages, seeing signs, interpreting things in a new way, right? What's also happening in your environment is, oh, this is so good. So in the Seven of Swords, there's a thief, robber, walking away with 5 swords. And there are 2 swords being left behind. The 5 of Swords in tarot is a card of winning at all cost, being defeated, all that. 2 of Swords is a card of not listening to your intuition, not listening to your inner voice, allowing the thoughts and words of others, outside voices, trauma, whatever, to cloud your internal voice and your intuition. When we see the 5 of Swords, we see somebody who appears to have won, but at what cost? In your environment, if you can start to look around, whether it's at the people that your parents think that you should be like or whatever, start to look around at the people that you are supposed to be becoming. And if you start looking around at these people, you'll start to notice that, yeah, you got the success and you got all these things that you wanted, but are you happy? Are you emotionally fulfilled in your life? Because that's what you thought that was going to get you, right? You thought that the degree or the money or the marriage or the family was going to bring you a sense of emotional fulfillment, a sense of completion, a sense of ease, whatever. You thought that it was going to make you feel better. That's why you wanted to do everything. You thought that if you pleased your parents and you did what they wanted, it was going to make you feel better. You might want to take yourself on that journey mentally. Fuck it, we're here. I might film the week ahead tomorrow. Take yourself on the journey of what would my life be like if I continued on the way that I'm going, or if I listened to my parents and I did whatever. Take yourself on that journey. I've done it so many times. Every single time I contemplated quitting and giving up on this business, I seriously contemplated it. I did. That's why I'm here. Because there's not shit else for me to do. If I didn't have to be here, I wouldn't be. I don't mean alive. I mean doing this work in this way. I don't want to do anything else. It doesn't light me up to do anything else. If it lit me up to have gone back to school, then that's what I would have done. If it lit me up to do something different, then that's what I would have done. But it didn't. And so I can go through, well, what would have happened if I would have if I would have stayed in school, if I would have gone back to school, if I would have made other choices and decisions. Well, if I would have done that shit, then I would have been very unhappy. And I value my happiness. So instead of viewing your life and your goals and setting things through that lens of what's going to make other people happier, what's going to look the best to other people, view your choices that you're making through the lens of how am I going to feel emotionally at the end of the day? If you were to take yourself to 80 years old, if you were to take yourself to 100 years old, if you were to take yourself to 200 years old, I don't know when you plan to die, but take yourself there. If you were to take yourself there and you were to look back at your life, would you be happy and fulfilled with the choices that you're making or with the choices available to you? Would you be happy taking the path, choosing the choices that everybody else wants you to take? That you think that you should, that you're feeling guilted and shamed and scared into taking and choosing? And then ask yourself, is that what you want for your life? I stopped valuing the opinions of people who are not living lives that I want to live. I'm going to be 110% honest with you. If I don't want to live life the way that you want to live it, I'm not listening to shit you say. And that's honest. It's really going in one ear, out the other. I don't hear anything. Because it can never be you. And that's just the way that I live. That's just the way that I live. I don't care. I don't care what anybody who can't identify how they feel has to say about me. I really don't give a shit. You don't have a connection to your intuition. I don't give a shit what you got to say. I do not care. I do not care. Because you couldn't pay me money to step into your shoes. You could not give me anything to put myself in your life position. And if that's the case, your opinion, it doesn't mean shit to me. Okay? Okay. Hopes and fears, Page of Pentacles. You're hoping that the world is going to value what you have to offer. You're hoping that you're going to be well received. You're afraid that you're not. And the reason why you're afraid is because of everything we talked about earlier about mommy dearest. So this month, you're working on valuing yourself, valuing what you have to offer, valuing what you have to bring to the table. And it is, I know that we've been talking a lot about career. I gave a couple examples of like love and romance, but it's in everything. It's literally in everything. When you have conversations like with yourself about love and romance in the SAS community, bonus content, like 55 minutes. It's like soulmate, twin flame, something is the title of the audio. Really good stuff. I talk more about like worthiness and stuff like that. So if you want more on that, go there. It's in bonus content, so you have to join SAS Complete for that, okay? But what I will say here is this. When you think about the ideal partner, the ideal lover, spouse, whatever you're wanting, and you feel unworthy of that, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. And then start asking yourself, it's like the question, why not me? Why not me? And start really thinking about how amazing and awesome you are as a person. And with the energy of the Six of Pentacles, I have Virgo, Venus in the 6th house. So those of us who have like Virgo energy, perhaps even Pisces energy, or any energy, you can get into that pattern of like, I can do this for this person. I can do this for this person. And it's very nice to be of service. And that's awesome. And that is super valuable. And you got to think about, yes, what you can do for people, but also who you are as a person and how you being who you are is valuable and important, and how that adds value to the lives of others. Somebody would want to be in a relationship with me because I'm such an adventurous person, and everything that I do in my life is kind of an adventure because I have Jupiter in the 5th house. So I'm kind of like a go big or go home type of person. And I'm super dramatic. And my Jupiter is in Aries. So I kind of get really good ideas and it all comes together quickly and it all just happens perfectly, serendipitously, so fast. So things are just kind of exciting over here. I'm an exciting person. It would be really advantageous to be in a relationship with me if you're somebody who values excitement and adventure. So you want to go through traits that you have, who you are as a person, things that you value about you. If you don't have those, it's time to focus on getting those, meaning not changing who you are. It's about coming into an awareness about what's valuable about you and recognize that there's somebody out there in the world who wants that and who values that. Oh my God, I want to tell you guys something. Oh, it's so freaking good. No, I don't want to tell you. Okay. I want to give you examples of different traits that are really, really good. I'm going to say traits that I would value in other partners. Me as a person, I really, really value, I don't have this list in my head. I mean, yes, I have this list in my head, but not in this way. I'm trying to think. Give me a second. Give me a moment, because this is really important. Okay, while those are loading, let me talk about something else. You want to focus on the traits within you? Damn, traits like what? Okay. I'm somebody who loves crystals. I love crystals. I like to have crystals. It's a very strong desire of mine to get a couple really big crystals to put around the house. I want more clear quartz. I love the way that crystals really vibe up the space. A potential partner who is sensitive to energy would really value this in a partner. So my future spouse doesn't have to be walking around the world going, I want to marry a woman who loves crystals. Maybe my future spouse is walking around in the world going, everything around me feels like shit. And all of these people feel like shit. And I feel like shit when I'm around them. And I come home and my home feels better than shit, but it doesn't feel amazing. And then enter Nathallie Hughes. Now, I have crystals in my home. And I walk into my home and things just feel light. And there's a crystal at the front door that is sucking all of the negative energy from the outside world. I walk into my house and I'm being cleansed energetically. My home feels like a sanctuary. Boom. I'm so grateful that I married Nathallie Hughes. That's a good example. Girl, all you need to do is go to youtube.com or whatever streaming service you use and listen to the song Upgrade You by Beyonce. And it is kind of like an acts of service song, which, like, yes, we totally appreciate, but it's not necessarily about the things that she's saying, but it's about the energy. Beyonce is a Virgo. Virgo is acts of service, being of service to the world. So a part of who she is as a person is somebody who wants to help the ones that she loves to become the best that they can be. So if you're somebody who values a partner who can help you become the best version of yourself, you want a woman who embodies Upgrade You by Beyonce energy. If you're somebody who values a partner who can help you become the best version of yourself, you want a partner who has Nathallie Hughes energy. You know what I mean? So it's less about I do things for people and that makes them like me, and more about I'm naturally somebody who loves to give to people and do this. That's who I am. It lights me up to do this. People that value that in a partner will be very attracted to me. That makes me valuable to them. Do you understand? It's a very slight difference, but it's an important one. Because you have to recognize that your actions, it's not like I cook for my husband because that's what a good wife is supposed to do. If that doesn't light you up and that doesn't make you happy, then that's not a good moment. But if that's who you are, if that's an expression of your soul, if that's something that lights you up, then somebody else's definition of a good spouse is going to match up with who you naturally are. Okay? You're understanding me? That's good. That's good. That's a good enough example. We've done enough. Okay. Last but certainly not least, what's our outcome? The King of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. You're recognizing your value more and more. Every single day, I become more aware of my value. Every single day, I value myself more and more. Every single day, I love myself more and more. Every single day, I feel better. Inner being. I want to value myself and value what I contribute to society and my space. Help me to do that. Help me to see that. I'm willing to allow that into my awareness. I'm open to a higher perspective. Now, you are a crystal. What do you bring into the space when you enter it? If you were a crystal, what would your characteristics be? Yeah, if you want to comment that down in the description, or not in the description, in the comment section, tell me, because I'm very interested to know. If I was a crystal, I would be a crystal that if you put it in your space, you would get really, really good ideas and you would get really, really inspired. And it'd be kind of a crystal that kind of lights a fire under your ass to really get you going and get you moving. This is a crystal that you would add into your space if you were feeling a little bit stagnant in your life and you really wanted some inspiration and you wanted things to pick up and you wanted things to move quickly. This is a crystal that you would add into your life if if you really wanted a greater sense of adventure. It's a crystal that you would add into your life if you really wanted to laugh more and you wanted to have more fun. This is a crystal that you want in your life if you want to get out of your comfort zone, if you want to do something you've never done before, learn something you've never done before, develop some new skills. This is the perfect crystal for you. Boom. It's me. I'm the crystal. That's the energy that I bring. And it's not about forcing people to do this. It's about, this is who I am. I've built up this momentum. When you come into my energy field, it naturally happens. So think about who you are as a person. What do you like to do? What are you interested in? What do you bring? Okay? As you are recognizing this more and more, you are gaining more pride in yourself. Gaining more pride in yourself. Learning to be proud of who you are, proud of your journey, proud of what you've overcome, proud of everything. Proud. Proud. At the end of the month, we're walking into April of 2022, proud. Feeling like the Nine of Pentacles, feeling like, yeah, there is only one me in the world. There is only one person who's come to do this in this way in the world. And it's very hard to feel, sure, we'll say it. It's very hard to feel special and valuable in the world when you're trying so hard to be like everybody else. When you are afraid with the energy of the Fool of looking different and being an outcast, it's very, very hard to value yourself. If we're talking about pride, King of Wands energy, we're talking about Leo energy. To be the star, Leo has Aquarius, the outcast, on the descendant. You can't be the star of the show in the spotlight and be everybody in the audience at the same time. It doesn't work that way. To be the star, to rise up, living in your zone of genius, whatever that is, what you have come here to do. You've come here to be a star in whatever it is that lights you up. You have a very special place. You're a very special piece in this puzzle that is mankind, the world, everything, evolution, yeah? You can only perform your function as this very special piece in the world if you are showing up as yourself. Your DNA shape dictates function, I believe. It's been a couple years. In this example, your shape is how you show up and who you embody in the world. You cannot complete the function that you've come here to complete, do what you've come here to do, contribute what you've come here to contribute, while you are at the same time conforming your shape to look like all of the other puzzle pieces. We don't need 3 top left corner pieces. We don't, because we're trying to complete the puzzle. So you are valuing yourself, valuing the things that make you different from other people, recognizing that it is all of these little things that come together to create you. And then the little pieces of you, the parts of you, the versions of you that love designer fashion and purses get to connect with the parts of other people who love designer purses and fashion, and then you get to connect in that way, and then you guys get to have relationships because we connect with people, we form connection through commonality, but we don't need to be completely the same in order to form connection. So you're valuing, I love that I get to connect with people through social justice. I love that I get to connect with people through fashion. I love that I get to connect with people through psychic shit. I love that I get to connect with people through astrology. I love that I get to connect with people through film. I love that I get to connect with people through photography, etc., etc., etc. All of these different little pieces of me are different potential avenues of love and connection. And when you take all of the little pieces and you put them together, you get me. So there's not going to be another me. Similar, not me. So if you want me as a person, if you want a spouse who loves all of these things and does all of these things and cares about all of these things, well, then you want Nathallie Hughes. And there's nobody else in the world that you're going to be able to find who has this, because we only need one. And that's the T. So that's what you're recognizing this month. You're special, you're original, you're embracing it, you're valuing yourself. And then the more that you value yourself, it gets easier when you're saying your affirmation work of like, I'm ready to rendezvous with people who value me, who value the work that I do. Yeah, of course people value the work that I do. Of course the world values what I bring to the table. It's new. The idea that the world could value what I bring to the table is a little bit uncomfortable because I've been telling myself that I'm not valuable all this time. But it just makes sense that the world would value this. What do you mean? Of course you value this. I value this. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. It becomes easier to step into that assumption that the world will value you, that people will value, that romantic partners will value you when you value yourself. You know, I just randomly will like think about this. Kind of like, who wouldn't want to marry me? That's what I think. That's what I think. I assume that if I'm interested in them romantically, that they're interested in me romantically, because why wouldn't you be? Come on. Come on. You've seen her. She's amazing. And that's how I feel. So it's much easier to be in that assumption, and then I'm never wrong. And then everybody that I'm interested in romantically is interested in me romantically, and they think that I'm adorable, and all the things that I love about me, they love about me. Yeah, thank you, because they're all mirrors to me. Amen? Amen. I love you guys so much. I hope that this was helpful to you. Wait a second. 1:11:55. We have to talk about my new offers. So if you're loving this video, if you're loving the vibe, if you're loving everything that I give to you, if you want my help and my assistance to actively co-create the reality of your dreams, get in alignment with what it is that you are wanting to experience in your life, join me in the SAS community. I just did a video answering your frequent asked questions and all of that. All of it is already up on my website. Information and the video is all on that sales page. What I want to add is that you now have the option of paying weekly. So you can do the same 2 tiers. You have options for your subscription. You can pay monthly or you can pay weekly. So perfect, awesome sauce. I love it. I'm also doing workshops for Complete SAS, which is the top tier members. I'm doing workshops once a week, every single Wednesday, and you can send in submission forms if you're somewhere else in the world, can't catch it live, whatever. And then for SAS Light members, I'm doing a monthly workshop on the last Thursday of every single month. Fuck ton of bonus content, amazing shit in there. Completely change your fucking life. I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. So excited about this. So go check out everything, join. And when you join, I did this like super cute, I just screen recorded, but it's so cute and it's so amazing. And it's me showing you how to access the exclusive members only pages on the website. Everything is so cute. It's so adorable. She's the cutest girl on the planet. I love her. She's so amazing. So powerful. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Go join the community. Let me help you and pour it into you. So much good stuff is happening there. So go check it out. I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.